guys showed up that day and didn't give a shit. There was apathy and complacency, period. July 13th was the closest that a would-be assassin has come to killing a current or former president since 1981. President-elect Trump escaped death by millimeters. As this task force has discovered in the course of its thorough investigation, critical errors in the planning and the operations for the July 13th rally allowed a lone gunman to open fire at President Trump and rally attendees. These security failures reveal the need for significant reform at both the tactical and agency-wide level to correct these vulnerabilities and enhance the Secret Service's ability to carry out its protective mission. I do want to thank the acting director. Right after the first attempt at Butler, I think that next Monday, the Committee on Homeland Security was standing on the site. And at that point, the then director had never even been to the site. I'm not sure she ever got to the site before resigning. But within a day of what happened in Florida, you were there. So I appreciate the delta in leadership there. We appreciate the hard work and bravery of the men and women in the Secret Service who have served tirelessly during a busy election season, and it is our hope that this investigation leads to a Secret Service that is stronger and better prepared for its mission. Obviously, the biggest failure, you brought it up, was the AGR building, the failure to the line of sight issues that were related to that. What specific to that failure, the miss of that risk, I mean, that a basic training private and infantry would know about 360-degree security. What specifically have you done to make sure that never happens again?
Yes, sir. So one, with this paradigm shift, going with the threat model and looking at the fact that we have to be able to provide the highest levels of protection to any of our protectees based on that threat. That means that we bring the full resources of what the Secret Service has. Our Special Operations Division operators, which consists of our counter snipers, our counter assault team members, and other members, and other entities within the SOD. So by shifting this paradigm to making sure that those assets are available so that when site agents are out there, they actually they don't have this, well, I'll never request this because it's not going to get approved. No, actually, what I'm telling you, if you have a vulnerability that you've identified, make the request, because we are gearing up now to put everything we have to keep all of our protectees safe, because we have to be based on mitigating a threat.
It seems almost to me like it was lackadaisical. I mean, it's hard to fathom that someone would say, we don't need to cover this. And the communications issues with the local law enforcement, I asked the question when they came before the committee recently, when everybody showed up on the day, was there a check-in? And there were law enforcement agencies that had never even talked to Secret Service that day. I mean, these are really basic things. And you would think they would know to do those kinds of things. So it speaks of apathy or complacency that is really unacceptable in an organization like the Secret Service. One of my questions to you is, the level of the failure. It seems unfathomable. The internal policies that weren't adhered to, the failure to mitigate very obvious risks. It speaks to a culture that, lack of attention to details, lack of sense of urgency, complacency. I mean, these are leadership, these are command climate issues. What is the command climate of the Secret Service? That's the thing that concerns me the most. When I reported to the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment commander to be their doctor, right? At that point in my life, I was 38 years old. I had graduated from West Point Ranger School, commanded in the 82nd Airborne Division, an infantry company. I had a master's in systems information. I had a medical degree, top of my med school class, and I wondered if I was good enough to be on that team. That's what I'm talking about. Elite culture where everybody comes to work every friggin' day saying, I will do everything I can to make sure I don't fail. And I'll tell you, going to war, I didn't give a shit if I died. What I didn't want to do was fail. But your guys showed up that day and didn't give a shit. There was apathy and complacency, period. And that's your mission now. I appreciate all the systems and the technology that everybody else has asked about. But this is a leadership issue. This is a command climate issue, a culture issue.